big red flag, folks, because the Lord doesn't have His prophets hanging out with crowds. In fact, in Jeremiah, He condemns people that are hanging out in crowds because all they do is share each other's false prophecies and visions, and they end up getting each other's spirits. It's the same thing I've been warning about with forum boards online, where they all hang out, and, I had a dream, I had a vision, and then they all end up sharing the same dreams and visions or picking up where somebody left off. If you want to be deceived, Satan will accommodate you. If you want to be just like somebody else, Satan's going to accommodate you. Not the Lord, Satan. If you're one of these people that's just, I want to have a prophecy, I want to have a dream, and you're reading it, whatever all these other people have posted, eventually you're going to end up with them. Because you're going to end up inviting the same spirits that they have into yourself by wanting to be just like them, the very thing that Jeremiah condemned. The Lord doesn't put up groups of prophets or groups of people that speak from Him in groups. If you look at the best example we have, which is His own prophets, they traveled alone. They were by themselves. They had helpmates or helpers. But the Lord never set up a group of people to speak at any one generation. He stood up one person. One person. And that was the person the Lord spoke through. And so I get these emails about there's somebody else online who thinks it's their mission to gather the bride while they're on earth. Now, what's the Bible say? Who gathers the bride? He will. So does this person think they're Jesus, the Yahushua? Do they think they're the Son of God? Because the Bible says that the Lord will gather the bride. He hasn't anointed anybody on earth to gather the bride so that when He comes, we're all gathered. And I don't exactly know how they're doing this. Probably a bunch through email addresses. What, we're going to be gathered off the Internet? I don't think so, though. The Lord does not need the Internet. Satan might. Satan needs the technology of knowing who is what and who is where. But the Lord certainly doesn't. He knows who you are. He knows where you are. He doesn't need your email address. He doesn't need your physical location address. And so this person's going around, oh, it's my job to gather the bride. Yeah, take it back to hell where it came from. I don't want to hear it. It's apostasy. It's error. And a lot of people are getting sucked into this. It's almost as stupid as these boards where they say, okay, let's gather all the watchmen on this board. Everybody who thinks they're a watchman, and so they all join these forums because the Lord pulled me out of them. When I first got on the Internet, I felt led to these kinds of lists, figure out what are these about. But I found out in a short period of time, I didn't belong there because they were kicking me out for speaking the truth. And so, what kind of watchmen are they? What kind of prophets are they? And you'll find out that behind a lot of these groups are nothing but the NSA themselves. They'll pose as Christians online, and they'll send out these great religious newsletters. I mean, the NSA has this stuff down. And you know who they learned it from? Their father, who does nothing but mimic the Lord. And I'll tell you what, Satanists are some of the most religious people you'll ever run into. Because they have to be able to fool you to deceive you, so they have to know what they're talking about. And so all this stuff is they become database gatherers. They want to know who you are and where you are. Obviously, you're not on the Satan side because you love the Lord. You're proclaiming you love the Lord, or that you think you might have some kind of gift or calling from Him direct. So obviously you're not Satan's. You consider yourself as part of the Lord's kingdom. And so now they know in their database, they have your little name marked and where your address is, and then they know who you are and where you are. So if they ever want to implement martial law, they can come find you because they already know you're part of the resistance. You will be part of the resistance against them when they rise to power, the New World Order. And so that's why the NSA does all this stuff. And I've written about how aliens are on the Internet and how they pose as Christians, and they all work together as database collectors. They're collecting databases. Okay, all these people over here are claiming to be Christians. We know who to target during martial law. We know where they are. The Lord, He says, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves together, but He doesn't say keep records. In fact, that's one thing he's led me to do for 4 or 5 years now. I don't keep records at all. I don't keep records of anything. I don't keep records of orgone orders, where it's going. I don't keep records of that. I don't keep records of where people are, who I've talked to, where they are. I don't keep records. And if I don't have any records around here, then I know that if the government, which always has me under surveillance anyway, were ever to try to find out who the people are I'm talking to, they're going to have to work for it. They will have to go through my computer and do some kind of tracing or whatever to find the people I come in contact with. Otherwise, they never would. And I trust the Lord at that point to not even allow them to do that, to block it, so they just can't see. You know, I know I hear from people now that will try to send me emails and then they get blocked and they get sent back, or I never get them, or they go to my website and they can't get a hold of my website. And they do a lot of stupid intimidation techniques. They'll harass people for sending me an email or something. You know, the next day that person might be saying, "Oh, I saw a helicopter fly over my house," or whatever. I said, "What? Let them waste their own gas. The Lord's going to protect you." You know, I haven't heard from a warrior yet that could have cared less. They have faith in God. They have faith in God, not fear of Satan. You know, and so, you know, watch out for these database collectors. And a lot of people don't even realize it's exactly what they are, that they're collecting the databases for the government, because they're led by Elf. They're listening to the Elf God. Oh, God told me this, but it wasn't God. It was the government. It was through their Elf technology. They're speaking to your head with their low-frequency beam weapons. You know? And they like to set these people up and prop them up, and so they think they're, you know, these grandiose characters and with these huge callings, and it's all a bunch of garbage. You know the Lord's people by their fruits. And I'm not saying these people are intentionally trying to be evil. I doubt it very much, because by deception, Satan deceives the world. So they're being deceived. They think they're hearing from the Lord, but they're not. They're being deceived. And so always watch the fruits of a person. You know, that's how you judge a person, is by their fruits, not their heart. You know, because by deception he deceives. And so, you know, these people are doing more to hurt the, well, you know what, I can't really say it, because the bride of Christ wouldn't be fooled by it anyway. I take that back. I don't mean to insult the first fruits people. You know, if you look at Revelations chapter 7, and what is that? What chapter? I think it's 9, or it's 14. It talks about the two groups of 144,000, and the first fruits rapture. The first fruits group is 144,000 people. It's not these millions that believe they're Christians today. And it says that the reason why there's only 144,000 is these people are found without guile. They weren't deceived. They're not embroiled in witchcrafts. They're not in apostasy. Now, we're not all, you know, these people don't 100% truth, because I don't think that nobody has it. You know, I don't say I don't think anybody has all the truth. Nobody has all the truth. Nobody has all the truth. But the point is they're not embroiled in the errors. They're not dominated by the errors and the apostasies that are in the churches today, nor are they involved with the witchcrafts, and nor were they deceived by Lucifer. And so if they're not going to be deceived by Lucifer, do you think they're going to be deceived by all this stuff that's going on today? Now, the Lord